Hi everyone. So I know I said that I was going to do a video on I did a video on a short video on me on saying that I was going to do a review of the books that I've got on Colin Clive and Boris Karloff. They're obviously a biography, and I started my Colin Clive review. Well, not the Colin Clive review. I started the book, the biography. It's called The Life and Death of Colin Clive. And yeah, as you know that I say in almost all my videos, my classes have started again, so I'm not getting anything done. Um so I started reading like a few pages and I finished. I don't know why I didn't think that it was gonna be that long, but it when I got the book I was like, oh wow, this is a long book. I mean, it's not like anthology book, but it's a you need some time to read it. Um, so I'd rather probably just talk about Colin Clive. Um, if you don't know who Colin Clive is, find out who he is. Colin Clive and Boris Karloff, find out who they are. Please do. Why are you clicking on this video if you don't want to know who they are? Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you about Colin Clive and Boris Karloff. They were in Frankenstein. Colin Clive was Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and Boris Karloff was Frankenstein's monster. They made the same appearance in Bride of Frankenstein. Um, Colin Clive was tragically lived a short life. He was born in 1900 and died at 1925. He was a alcoholic. Um, because he most likely I think it was because he tried to use it to cure his anxiety. Because I heard that when he was before this is all before I started reading the biography, but because I was very interested in him when I first saw the movie. Um, he I believe he drank because of his anxiety, especially when he was on stage, because he was a stage actor in the beginning and then he moved on to movies. um he because his acting coach once said, like, take a swig of whiskey, and then he just from then on it just kept going. He Sometimes people have even reported that he was drunk on set, and which is unfortunate. And I think that may I don't we don't to I don't think to this day we know exactly the cause of death, but I know he also had tuberculosis, and obviously that him being an alcoholic did not help with his tuberculosis, obviously. So that's unfortunate. So I remember, if you know the line, even if you've never seen the movie Frankenstein, you know when everyone knows when the famous line, "It's alive, it's alive." Um, he actually says something after that, and he says, "Now I know what God feels like," or something like that. Now I know what God feels like, and it actually was taken. It was actually taken out in when it first premiered, because the people who created the film thought that people would get offended because it sounded blasphemous. Um, and it's just like, but people who pay to see someone who's not a god try to create a man is not also blasphemous. So I don't, but I guess they thought we don't want to make it more blasphemous. And they also did that in Bride of Frankenstein too. It wasn't as clear to me in Bride of Frankenstein, but that's also there was also some blasphemous things said in the Bride of Frankenstein, because there was this one doctor who was basically like Victor Frankenstein, but Victor Frankenstein was just like after the first one, he was like, I'm not gonna make another. I'm not gonna try to make another man. And this other scientist blackmails him into helping him create another monster. And so he says something along the lines of, um, so, I don't remember word for word what he said, but he said something like, "Well, it's different. It's just like they believe in the fairy tales, but something. It was it was referencing the Bible and like this the stories that just we just like he's just saying, oh well, the Bible, the stories in the Bible are also fantasy, so also like so people believe in magic and stuff like that. So yeah, so I thought it was nice because like also um there was his sexuality was also in question too. I mean, because he had two wives. He had a girlfriend. When he died, he had a girlfriend, um, which is also kind of sad because um, because it said in the I remember that I found out that no one went to his funeral, which was very sad. Um, he was cremated, and his ashes were kept in the funeral home for a very long time until they were spread in I forget which river, which ocean. I think it was a river or an ocean. And so I feel like that's kind of sad. And yeah, I guess he's just had a really tragic life because I remember I did some research, and again, this is before I even knew there was a biography about this, because I think this biography was made in 2018 anyway, and I saw the movie in 2018, so I didn't know about the biography book. So I did some research, and the woman in The Bride of Frankenstein, the woman who played his wife, she was 19, so she could never she couldn't kiss him, obviously, because she was 19 and he was 25. No, wait, he died in 1935, not 1925. He was 30 because he was 35 when that came out. No, yeah, okay, it came out in 30. I believe it came out in 35, and he was 35 when he died. So she was 19. He was obviously 35. So he was way too old for her. So they didn't kiss on set. And I remember she said in an interview, he's the most handsomest man I know and the saddest man I know. And heard that, when I read that, it broke my heart because I was like, oh man, this dude had it bad back then. And like, yeah, and I'm guessing that one, he came from a military academy. I mean, he came from a military family. Two, he what he some people think that he was potentially gay or bi, and that's that could also be one of the reasons why he was alcoholic, because he did have dreams in becoming part of part of the British Army, but he hurt his hip, so I think his hip or his foot, I forget. And so that his dreams were shattered, so he couldn't join the military, and so he started acting, and it's just like, and then it wasn't, then he had to be in then he had to come to terms that he couldn't come to terms that he was like sexual, he was his sexuality, and that's probably why he also drank, because I mean, one, he did have stage fright, and two, he probably just drank to numb the pain that he couldn't be himself, because Victorian England, he wasn't obviously gays were not allowed to get married, and I believe it was illegal to be gay. But I mean, there were still people who did come out as gay, but don't do it in public, obviously. Um, because that's indecent, an indecent act, so yeah, so his life was just really tragic, and like no one came. I feel like, and also no one came to his funeral. That's just because I mean he was. I don't want to say I feel like because he had a wife. He was estranged, but he had because he was a very handsome man. So and he had a girlfriend at the time too when he was in America. So it's just like wow. Um so but I think was it Iris Lancaster that was his girlfriend when he died? I believe that was her. And so yeah, so it's just a really tragic life that he had. And and that's why I would like to know more about him. And yeah, I just think it's a sad life. And this having celebrities die tragically when they're young is not a new concept. Having the stress of being a celebrity is not a new concept. This has been going on since for decades, for years, last last century, who knows how long it's been going on. So it's very sad. And it's sad that he couldn't live on longer, because he probably could have done even more great films. And yeah, yeah, that's all. And yeah, I hope I get to finish this book this year, because I mean, hope hopefully I won't just start reading and then like just stop reading after a while and then start reading again, because then it just throws off my whole momentum of reading. And so I'll try to I'll try to read it. But that's why I'm making this video now, because I want to give some backstory on Colin Clive, because I promised to make well, I didn't promise, but I said I was going to make um a review. I was going to do a review on that book, but I haven't even I haven't even got a quarter of the way through yet. So um doesn't look like it's gonna come anytime soon. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on Colin Clive, about my experience that I've had with following Colin Clive's career and life. And yeah, he's I really like him as an actor. And he was very good at Frankenstein. Um, not at being Dr. Victor Frankenstein. Not to say that Peter Cushing was not a good Frankenstein either. He was very good. Actually, kind of sexy when he was playing Victor Frankenstein, but I'm just saying. Mm, really. I love Peter Cushing. Um, so yeah, but I don't know why I'm talking about Peter Cushing, because he is not he okay, but yeah, that's all I have to say. So bye.